How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gran Turismo 4, and well, continuing the Formula GT Championship. I, as always, wonder what track is gonna show up today. I think that regardless of the track, I still want to keep the driving aids off, but we will see what track it is. It's the track number 10 on Laguna Seca. That's... Having the driving aids off in this track is a very bad idea. I'll do it, I don't care. It's already struggling in the introduction. Come on. This is a horrible idea. I said before that Laguna Seca will be an exception, and I probably should have made it an exception, but yeah, I guess no. The problem with Laguna Seca, well, obviously the problem number one is the corkscrew. So regardless of that, first of all I need to get used to the car again. I mean, ideally what you want to do before starting is probably warming up instead of just throwing yourself like this, but whatever. I mean, you cannot really do it even if you wanted to. I mean, unless you load another save. So you gotta do this no matter what when you're in the middle of a championship. Okay, corkscrew. How do you do this? Okay, yeah, that's not how you do it, but I guess it will have to do for now. Oof. Damn. This first lap was pure pain. I gotta tell you that right now. Oh, fuck. Okay. I need to reach the leader. That's the number one priority. Mr. Gray car, I gotta get you. I mean, Laguna Seca corners are so hard. Even with a car like this that is supposed to be the pinnacle of driving, it's still so hard to take some of these corners. At least it seems that the AI doesn't take them particularly fast, but man, that's something. There is also another thing about this track that is kind of an issue, that is the fact that the pit stop is very long. And you already know that I have to pit stop earlier than the AI, so I cannot do that final corner properly. So having the Formula 1 driving in Laguna Seca is something else. I don't even know if they ever did a Laguna Seca Grand Prix. I don't think so, but maybe at some point they did. Like the other day I investigated, for example, that there was 1 year that the Formula 1 actually went to Le Mans. So there's that. Like Le Mans is the not the version in this game, but rather like a smaller. That's gonna cost me a lot. Hello. Damn it, dude. Oh. Well, it costed him a lot too. Now we have this orange guy to worry about. And the silver guy is completely out. But this final corner is... Jesus Christ. This is very bad. Because all this advantage that I'm not getting is advantage that I need. This track is a problem no matter what. Oh, and I'm 5th place. I thought I was 4th. That's even worse than I thought. Yeah, you can see what the problem is with this track. I feel like I just got distracted for less than a second and it was already enough to go straight to last place. I don't know how these assholes do the corkscrew that fast. And now you understand why. Oh, wait a second. These guys are getting into accidents by themselves. They don't even need my help to do that. They are doing it on their own. Okay, so I'm not the only moron that's gonna get into accidents then. Good to know. Damn, so Laguna Seca is so fucked up that even the AI gets filtered. That's pretty funny. I gotta admit. Very, very funny. But I cannot rely on something like that. That's relying on what's essentially RNG, you know. It's because when they take the corners, it seems like they take the outer side of the track a little bit too aggressively. Well, ironically, I think that's the best corkscrew I did today. Even though it looks so sloppy, it probably was the best one. Uh-oh, that's too long. No, that's fine. Okay, yeah, they are getting into accidents. Like, not all of them and not all the time. But that corner, like, that's them, and they are getting fucked right now. There's only one guy that escaped all of that. It's the orange guy. You know that the orange guy is always like on the last places. Not today. It is being more chaotic than I was expecting. Because I was expecting it to be a chaotic race for me. But this is being chaotic to my opponents as well. Also, unfortunately, the game sound is very loud. I have to decrease it, but I cannot do it now. I will have to enter pits to decrease it. It's okay. Because I keep forgetting that the engine sound in this thing is so comically loud. Even though it is accurate, it's still pretty funny. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the guy behind me is not really getting into accidents. That's a problem for me. But maybe it's just a matter of time. Though, now that I think about it, maybe the reason why they get into accidents is because of the slipstream. Like, they cannot calculate the corner well when they have slipstream from another car. Will that be the case? I don't know. What I do know is that I need to pit in, well, ideally on this lap, but I think that that's a bad idea. I think I'd rather wait one more lap, but that's not a very good color for my tires. Like, this is gonna be a mistake, for sure. But as much as I think the guy behind me got into an accident. That's good. This is a bad idea. I should have pit in right there. I mean, I'm gonna try to take this corner super safely, I guess. But So look at, on the bright side, both of the rear tires are getting deteriorated the same way. Like, what I'm trying to say is that they are getting deteriorated. What's the word? I forgot what word I want to use here. But basically that it's not like one is more deteriorated than the other one. Like they are both getting destroyed the same. Okay? Doing the corkscrew with those tires is gonna be like that. Okay, I need you to pit in right now. Let's just do it. Promise that I have to do this corner myself, right? Yeah. Okay, let me decrease the volume real quick. There we go. Oof, it was a little bit loud. That didn't help either, but yeah, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. So, this guy is not pitting in, obviously. Well, no one is pitting in aside from me, so we will see how it goes. Pitting in like this means that I need 10 pit stops, which it's fine, I guess. I don't know how they are gonna do it. If I had to take a guess, they are probably gonna pit stop a total of 8 times, because they're gonna pit stop at lap 10 most likely. Okay. We will see what happens here. So with that difference, it's essentially like the pit stop is like 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more, maybe 32 seconds. It's a very long pit stop, without a doubt. I don't like the fact that this guy is so close to me, because the AI, I don't know what racing line they take on the corkscrew, but they do it so fast. So if I'm ahead of them, then that guy... Everyone is getting an accident there, and including the first place, because now you will see that he's gonna be a lot closer. Like probably 5 seconds or 7, but pretty close regardless. Yeah, that's essentially what it means to have a track that is so hard that even the AI struggles. But the real problem here is that this is not a track for Formula 1, dude. Like, come on. We'll have to investigate if they ever had a Grand Prix here. But this is not a track you will put these monsters on, dude. You don't wanna do that. That's still a very slow way of doing the corkscrew. Oh. Are you having trouble, Mr. Orange Car? And he's still not pitting in. That's very worrisome. Because this is lap 10, so if it's not pitting on lap 10, then when? That is definitely a problem. Don't mind me. I mean, at least if they are gonna have accidents like that, I shouldn't have too much trouble staying on the lead. Though, this, if they didn't have those accidents, this would have been impossible to win under these conditions. It would have been absolutely impossible. I mean, maybe at the end of this race I will have learned how to do the corkscrew. I have my doubts. It seems that at some point it's almost consistent that they get into an accident, and it's one after the other. Also the funny thing about it. Okay, now it's pitting in. Yeah, it is. So it's every 11 laps. The problem with being every 11 laps is that they are gonna pit stop 7 times versus the 10 that I will. That's a little bit annoying. But at the same time, I can tell you that if I had used driving aids here, this would be absolute destruction from me, basically. Ooh, that was close. Like, they wouldn't have a single chance, is what I'm trying to say. No, I don't think I can do the corkscrew right a single time. Because basically the best attempt that I had, I still took a very long time, and not to mention that I also drifted. Like, it wasn't even like a fully clean corner. I don't know. Wonder how I did the corkscrew on my PB though. That 1 minute 8. But what happened during that? It seems a little bit too much to have like already 3 American tracks, right? Because we have New York, Sonoma, and now this. All American tracks. And this is supposed to be a world championship. Doesn't seem very world-like like this, you know? It's a little bit American. We did have other countries, but still. But we also had 2... No, well, we probably will have 2 Japanese tracks. Yes. Most likely gonna be Tokyo and Suzuka. The track that I wonder if they are gonna put is Tsukuba Circuit, because I mean, obviously Tsukuba is not a very fitting track for Formula 1, but neither is this one, you know? So if we go by that argument, yeah, this is definitely not fitting either. So I guess a race in Tsukuba will be interesting. I guess the lap times will probably be pretty similar to Seoul, since both are very, very small tracks. Okay, that was a good last corner there. Oh, then the silver guy is in last place. I feel pretty sad about that. I wonder if I was the culprit, but after seeing everyone else having accidents in that same place in multiple laps, I really don't think I had that much to do with him going to last place, you know? I'm feeling that overall it was your own doing, most likely. You can see that even when I try to brake slowly, as in not just brake from full speed to 0, but when I try to get out of the way, when I try to brake very slowly so the speed difference is not that big, even then I still have the problem of like drifting on the corner entrance. Alright, well, I'm gonna pit in on this lap, so yeah. At least you can tell that if you don't have an accident that involves drifting a lot, The tire wear is not that bad on the final lap of the stint. It's annoying, but could be worse. Yeah, it's fine. This corner will never be fine. Now, ironically, here it seems that the tire wear is different in the two tires. Not sure why. Oof. Okay, I'm 2 pits in. Okay, oof. Yeah. Driving here is very exhausting, I gotta say. Quite exhausting. It's fine. I don't mind. So be it. It also seems that this is shaping up to be an hour and 40 minutes. Which means that depending on the next race, like I will be relatively short on time. Because if it's 2 races of an hour and 40 minutes, that essentially means that well, that's 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's not that bad, but the thing is that tomorrow, damn, look at the minimap. Like the second place got out of the track altogether. And that's pretty funny. I wonder if they tested this. I wonder if that's intentional. Because there are 3 different possibilities here. The first one, that I doubt that is the case, is that they don't realize that with this AI, the cars go out on this specific corner for this specific car. And the second idea is that they already did this on purpose, like they coded the behavior of the cars to specifically get out on this track, which I also heavily doubt. And the most likely scenario, which is the third alternative, is that they coded it normally and then they realized that they were getting accidents in that corner. But instead of fixing it, they were like, no, leave it like that because it adds realism. I feel like that's the most likely scenario. Unless there's something actually like a fourth alternative that could also be the case, that this is an emulation error. Because so far we haven't really put in any suspicions in the emulation because we assume that it's good enough. But hey, maybe, like, you know that a single, like, pretty funny seeing them do that. Like, a single thing will trigger a catastrophic result like that. Like, so far it hasn't been the case in any other track. But yeah, maybe in this particular track the emulation is slightly wrong. I still will find that hard to believe though, because usually it doesn't work like that. Like, it could, but the thing is that what emulation does is obviously emulate instructions that the game uses over the console, right? So it will be very weird if every instruction related to the AI work well except for one, and that one that doesn't work well makes it do this. Because if that was the case, I feel like that should have happened in every single other track, and more importantly, it should have happened in more than just this corner, you know? The fact that it only happens in this corner is very weird. And if it was an emulation thing, I don't think it would be like that. But hey, you never know. Look, I'm not an expert at emulation, so hey, maybe it is an emulation error. In which case, that's a shame. Because in this, in the situation that these things don't get into an accident, maybe a race like this I wouldn't have won it like I'm gonna win it now, basically. But there's nothing I can do about it, Like, regardless of what the reason is, the only thing I can do is keep racing. And well, these guys can keep going off track, I guess. It's a little bit sad, honestly, because it really takes away all of the challenge. If it only was one occurrence every, I don't know, 10... No, that's still a lot. Like, if it was one occurrence every 50 laps, or, I don't know, 40, just to... Like, 2 occurrences per race, right? If it was like that, I would be like, yeah, alright, whatever. Like, it will still be challenging because it doesn't happen often. But happening like every 2 laps, or sometimes even every single lap, means that there is no way that I'm not gonna win this. So, yeah, the good thing is that if I decided to use driving aids here, like, this will be even more free, and I would have felt bad about enabling them in the first place, since it was so unnecessary. I think here, the thing that surprises me the most is that they are having those accidents in that corner and not in the corkscrew. Though, to be fair, it's not the second to last corner the one that they are having the issue, it's the third to last corner. Just that every time they crash, they end up crashing there, but that's because they already lose control from earlier. Essentially, after the corkscrew, it's like they completely lose control for some reason. Yeah, weird stuff. But if anyone that is watching this hears that, I mean, what I should say, let me know if you played it on a real console and that happens. So then again, how many people even bother doing this Formula GT World Championship? Because I will assume that of the majority of people that play Gran Turismo 4, I'm willing to assume most of them didn't even bother with this. And the ones that did bother with it probably only did it on B-Spec. Like, once you have the Formula car, I'm pretty sure that the B-Spec driver can crush these morons without problem, So if you do something in B-Spec, usually you're not really paying attention all the time to what's happening. So I wonder if anyone did this, which is already rare enough, but even rarer to do it in a real console. I wonder if that also happened there, or if this is an emulation issue. But at least the good thing is that it's one of those emulation issues that works in my favor, assuming it is. To me, the most possible option is that this was originally an error and they decided to leave it because it looked cool. Like, I also find that hard to believe simply because of the frequency. Like, the accidents are way too frequent. Okay. I say that just as I get into an accident. It's fine, don't worry about it. I think that the funniest part, like the most fun thing in this race is looking at the minimap. I think that seeing me do laps in Laguna Seca is not as entertaining as seeing these poor bastards getting into an accident every single time. So yeah, that's quite funny. Alright. So, at this point I essentially have no more worries. Like, I already know that I'm gonna win no matter what, so good shit, I guess. So basically, of the 4 races that I mentioned, or the 4 tracks that I mentioned, we already had one of them, which is Laguna Seca. So only Opera Paris, Hong Kong, and Nürburgring are left. I'm pretty sure you can already have Nürburgring as a certainty, and Hong Kong most likely too. I have my doubts about Opera Paris, but honestly, considering that it's supposed to be a championship about going around the world, it most likely will be there. Essentially, any track that represents a country is most likely gonna be featured. They did go a little bit overboard with USA, but it's fine. Though, assuming that's the case, since there are only 5 tracks remaining in the championship after this one, I think that we have the lineup already confirmed. Essentially, well, actually, here's the thing. Nürburgring and Suzuka are most likely guaranteed. Then you have Hong Kong, that I'm pretty sure is pretty much guaranteed. And then there are 3 remaining ones that I feel like all of them are just as possible, but there is only 2 more spots remaining, which are Opera Paris, Tsukuba, and oh well, sorry, I forgot Nürburgring. That one is guaranteed pretty much as well, I want to believe. But yeah, I wanted to, like the ones that I have doubts are Opera Paris, Tsukuba, and Detroit. Those 3. Though, wait, Detroit is in this game? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is in this game. So, well, Detroit. The game calls it Seattle, but someone told me it's supposed to be Detroit. But yeah, the thing is that apparently that was a track that at some point got used, I think, in Formula 1. So, assuming that's the case, one of them is not gonna make it. Like, I will assume that Tsukuba is the one that is not gonna make it, because even if it represents Japan, yeah, I think that you already have 2 other representations. Well, you could say the same about Detroit, but if it was an actual track using the real Formula 1, then I don't think they will let that opportunity pass to use the track. Differently from Tsukuba, that I don't know, again I will have to investigate, but I don't think Tsukuba was ever used for Formula 1. Like, it's too short of a track. It's a track that slower cars use. And well, so is Laguna Seca, yes, but We can only speculate. Well, not really. I mean, I could have checked beforehand when I entered the championship and see which ones they were. I didn't. I prefer the surprise, you know. I think that it always makes you look forward to the next race no matter what. Well, that might have been the cleanest corkscrew now. That might actually have been the cleanest. I don't know if this... No, I think this lap might not be fast enough. There were a lot of other corners that were not very good. Too long, really. Oh, my bad. Well, there goes that 3. That's something that I had my doubts, like, can you even knock those things off? Yes, you can. I mean, well, it's either that or making them have no hitbox, you know? There is no other alternative. Now, that... Assuming someone knocks those things off, that will be a real danger, because in real life, obviously, in order to be able to brake, to know when to brake, like real life drivers use those things as a braking reference. Obviously, in this game, you simply have the suggested gear on the bottom right. I mean, obviously, in real life, that doesn't exist. So they realize when to brake when they see those type of references. So essentially, knocking out one of those references is very dangerous. You don't want that. In fact, I wonder what happens when something like that happens in real life. Obviously, if someone has an accident that involves stuff flying on the track, there's most likely gonna be a yellow flag. But the question is if they put them again before resuming the race or not. Yeah, that's a huge waste of time. But it could have been worse, actually. Well, not to mention, these guys are doing way worse than me. Look at this shit. Like, these guys are playing rally over here. Yeah. I guess the AI in this game really leaves a lot to be desired, you know. The AI tries its best, but it cannot do much. It's just very dumb. And ironically, getting into accidents like that could theoretically wear their tires faster. But I think when it comes to tire wear, even though I think that everything is being simulated, sometimes it really feels like the tire wear is not simulated at all for the CPU. But they just do whatever they want. Is this gonna be a PB? It looks like it will. It will. Damn, huge PB as well. I mean, it makes sense with all the slipstream I have. They also did the corkscrew very well. at this rate, if I'm already, well, I'm gonna go to pits now, but I'm already 2 laps ahead of the second place. I wonder by the end of the race how many laps I'm gonna be ahead of him. Okay. So, yeah, I think that there's, in terms of, you know, the whole warming up and the whole getting used to the track, you can already assume that it's not a problem. Even if I wasn't used to the track yet, the AI is not doing any efforts for winning, so we are more than fine. Today I saw how some people were saying that this game is understeer central. Like, most cars only understeer and oversteering is barely even possible. And I guess that to some extent it's true, but I welcome them to use this car without driving aids. Because this thing really likes oversteering. I mean, I guess if it was truly realistic, you will be oversteering a lot more, but I think that I'm already oversteering enough, you know? The amount of oversteering is fine. Yeah, I think that getting fully used to the corkscrew, I just gotta assume that it's impossible. Maybe you got in my way. It's fine. Now, I do wonder if there's gonna be any track where the AI is gonna have these problems too. Hard to tell. I mean, maybe in Nürburgring. Nürburgring is a very, very long track, which means that to make sure that the AI can do every single corner well no matter what, if they already could not guarantee it on a track like this, like Nürburgring is probably gonna be a disaster. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they just had an oversight only on this track. I don't know. I mean, you already saw the previous races, and the previous races did, unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think any of them had a single issue like this. Accidents like this one. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I personally don't remember. I do remember that in Sonoma, like, they got into an accident while trying to avoid me. I wonder if I was paying more attention, if those accidents, just like the one here, weren't actually created by me and they constantly happen instead. I feel like I would have found out if that was the case. I don't think that was the case. This might be... Well, actually, I don't know what was the race with the most amount of laps where I was ahead. It most likely was in Motegi. Yeah, I mean, either in Motegi or on Seoul. I don't know. But this one is shaping up to be at least 5 or something ridiculous like that. And all thanks to the accidents. It really is a shame because I would have liked to see, under these same circumstances, how the AI will do. Like if I will be left behind, it will have been the first race I will lose. Or if it was still a race I would win. But if it's a race that I will win, if it will have been for like less than a lap or something like that. And unfortunately, we cannot know, I'm afraid. It's just not a possibility. Well, if someone was doing this championship and was struggling with points for whatever reason, this would have been the perfect race to actually be able to get more points. Basically a free race. Like to lose on this one, you will have to be particularly bad. But I'm assuming that someone that will be bad enough to lose this probably wouldn't have gotten this far into the championship. I mean, keep in mind that the reason why I'm personally struggling to do a lot of these corners is simply because of the lack of driving aids. If you have driving aids on, even though it's still a dangerous track, you can do it very easily. Especially when they have accidents every single lap. Don't you love the corkscrew? Oh, hello. That's a silver car. He's in fourth place. It's hard to tell because they are all quite far from each other, you know. They're definitely quite far. Was a very aggressive corner entrance, without a doubt. That's pretty bad, and these guys are definitely gonna crush me. So ironically, if you actually slow down before this corner, it's probably the best thing that can happen to you, since otherwise you are clearly gonna have an accident, you know? It's probably for the best for you to slow down there. And you can tell that there are some times where they slightly step on the dirt and they don't really lose control, and I'm pretty sure that that's how it's supposed to look. But when they do lose control, it's because they went further into the drift, right? Into the dirt, I mean. I also like how the AI pretty much has no issues with the, you know, with the tires, well, the wheels to be precise, getting stuck before you upshift. Because they, well, I actually didn't check the, like, now that I think about it, I didn't check the bar, the acceleration bar on the bottom left. What most likely happens is that they don't have it all the way. They probably have it like around halfway. That's something I cannot possibly do. I mean, a real PS2 I could, but here I'm using a button that only has 2 states, you know. So I'm afraid it's not possible. Really looking forward to seeing how Suzuka circuit is gonna be. Because I can potentially struggle like this too, you know. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but it is a complex track, without a doubt. I did that a little bit too slow for some reason. At the same time, you can kind of tell how the opponents always, one way or another, step on the dirt. It's like they cannot possibly do the whole track in asphalt. Like they have to slightly step off track. Otherwise they cannot do the corners properly. Ironically, that's what's not letting them do the corners properly. Okay, so see, that's how that corner is supposed to go. It looks like they take it in a very hard way, like very aggressively, but it does work, assuming you do it like that and not more aggressive than that. At the moment that they go more aggressive, it's a different story. Oh my bad. Wasn't paying attention to what was in front of me. Well, not like I need to though. No matter what they do, they are not winning this race. I guess after seeing this, I think that I gain a lot of confidence to do both Hong Kong and Nürburgring without driving Ace. So Nürburgring will be a real issue, but I don't mind, so be it. I mean, needing to struggle a little bit, if anything, will be probably something that I will welcome. Just a little struggle. There goes the orange guy. Honestly, I feel like it will be perfect if the track after this one was Hong Kong. There will be at least something else that will be challenging, and differently from this one, I very heavily doubt that the AI is gonna have an accident, guess. In this one, the accident happens because they are stepping on irregular terrain, but Hong Kong is an urban track, so... I mean, the worst that can happen is that they drive right, like, face first to the wall, but... I don't see that happening. I mean, it also hasn't happened in any of the urban tracks, so... I mean, unless you crash into them and make them crash against the wall, I guess. They are pit stopping now. That essentially means 3 laps. Okay. 3 laps and... Well, I guess we are more than halfway through the race, but that's still pretty brutal, you know? Oof. Wow. You wanted an oversteer? There you have an oversteer. Hey, that one is exclusively because of the tire wear. shouldn't happen in any other situation. When the tires are like that, it's impossible to avoid. Well, it's not impossible to avoid, but you gotta pay a lot of attention. So why does it say start the revolution on that thing? What revolution are we talking about? That's the second place. It's pretty crazy to see Mr. Yellow Guy this far from the rest. It feels like, ironically, since maybe some of these AIs might be programmed to be slightly slower than the others, that the yellow one, probably being one of the slowest, actually can get into a good position, probably because it's the one having the least amount of accidents, precisely because it's slower. I mean, why else will it be so far from the rest? Because you can look at the minimap and the next car is pretty far away. So it's most likely that it's the one that had the least amount of accidents. So that's what defines the track here. I don't think I'm getting a faster lap than that 1 minute 5 second one that I have there. That I cannot possibly go faster than that. I gotta say that this lap, well, if it wasn't for that, okay, see, that's what we call a shins. It would have been a pretty fast lap if it wasn't for that. Too late now. I basically did everything right, not to mention that I had slipstream at the beginning of the track as well, so that's a shame. I guess I went too far on that corner. The moment you try to go a little bit faster, it doesn't like it. The moment you try to brake the limits break you instead. Have some slipstream now. Unfortunately, the fucking corkscrew. It's already impossible doing it on my own, but doing it with another car next to me, you can forget about that. God damn it, stupid corner. The worst part is that with driving aids on, I probably will still struggle just the same. That's just how annoying it is. So pretty funny that I still was not able to overtake this guy, even though I've been behind him for like 3 laps. It's just how bad the accidents have been. Surprised that that didn't end into an accident. I think that I can forget about getting that PB again. You know how every other race so far, I always starts with something that well, actually, here's the thing. I was gonna say that every race has something that is hard, and after doing it over and over, I end up mastering it. But I also remember Sonoma that had that final sequence of corners that even towards the end I still haven't mastered. So yeah, I guess the corkscrew is not gonna be the only one, but yeah, it definitely will be one of them. Damn it. But if you push me like that, it's gonna be even worse. You know, I would get mad, but honestly, with how much you get fucked up by your own accidents, I think, if anything, it's understandable that you will want to take it out on me. So don't worry, no hard feelings. You already have enough to deal with your inability to do that corner properly, so yeah. I'm not gonna be mad at you. Usually mad at yourself though, for being so bad. I also think that there is no longer pit stop in the game than this one. Like, this one is most likely the longest one. Might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Very nice when you overtake from off track. So you think that they are gonna push you out of it and not allow you to overtake, but no, they cannot. Okay. Now I'm the one having troubles there, huh? And the issue with those accidents is not that, you know, I could potentially lose or anything like that, but rather it's the fact that I take longer to finish the race, a race that is already very long, you know. You don't want to take longer than necessary, but this track has probably been the hardest one so far. But not just for me, I mean for the AI it's clearly also been pretty hard, you know. It's one of those cases where I do know that Laguna Seca is not a simple track, but I don't think it should feel this hard to do. Yeah, maybe with a Formula 1, but it's also been the case in other events in this game with other way slower cars that you had interesting races here. They were interesting precisely because I had a very high chance of losing, you know? That's what made them interesting. And that happens precisely because it's not easy to drive on them, you know? This shouldn't be harder than Nürburgring, though. It would be nice if I end up doing Nürburgring without driving aids, that I will have less accidents than here. That essentially will mean that Laguna Seca is absolute bullshit. It shouldn't be like that, is what I'm trying to say. I gotta say that the design of that guy, I thought it was fully yellow. It's actually yellow with like black details. it looks pretty cool. I mean, definitely cooler than the one I'm using, without a doubt. I wish at least they would let you pick the color. I know that it's impossible because of the way the game works. Like, you simply get a reward and that's it. The reward is the one it is. There is no color picking in a reward. In this case, I feel like it will be nice. And I feel like I remember in the PS3 Gran Turismo games that the Formula car was actually something that you could purchase. Maybe I'm wrong and it wasn't, but I think it was purchasable. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So this guy is maintaining those 3 laps instead of 4. Not for long though. Come on, we can do a fast lap. I don't know why you decided to drift there. I'm obviously talking about the car, not talking to myself. I obviously didn't want to drift. That was a pretty fast lap though. Considering that it had 0 slipstream, it was less than a second away from the PB, so yeah, that was actually good. Unfortunately, no matter how fast I do this lap, it cannot possibly be a PB because it's the one that I'll be pitting in. This one, if it wasn't for pitting in, it could probably be the one that is a PB. Because all of that I did it pretty fast. And it all depends on this stupid ass corkscrew. I think I don't really have the tires to do that properly regardless. So yeah, not happening. Okay. So there's only 2 more pit stops remaining after this one, right? And then we are done. It will most likely be an hour and 40 minutes race. Most likely. No, see, here's the thing. If you look at the AI, if you look at the bottom left, well, technically they leave the like they step on the accelerator slowly, which is something that I cannot do. But theoretically, the way they do it is it makes sense that they don't get the wheels stuck like I have. Pretty sure I could easily map the R2 and L2 buttons to act as a real accelerator. No thanks. I wonder in the PS3 games if they already use that option or not. In the PS3, differently from the PS2 controller, they didn't have all the buttons being analog. They only had the ones on the back, the triggers. So curious to see if they give you that option, or but I will assume that they will give you the option. I just don't know what was the case by default. Because back then, since I was so used to use the cross and square to accelerate and brake, even if the default was R2 and L2, I most likely changed it. I don't remember. Also nice to see how much the tires of my opponents suffer when they drift like that. At least they will get to see what excessive tire wear looks like. This is most likely gonna be 5 laps advantage over the second place. I don't think I'm gonna make it to 6, simply because of the 2 times where I still have to pit stop, and for what I understand they only need to pit stop 1 more time and that's it. So here I could pit stop a lap earlier. Instead of pitting in 72, I could go on 71. And then on the next one I can go in 78. And that will be enough to reach the end. Yes, the final lap of every stint is very risky. With the tires already being orange and all of that. You know, failing every corner. And I cannot really blame the tires for that. They are not doing that badly right now. So another thing that I don't know in terms of what the next races will be, if there's gonna be another original track. All the ones that I'm thinking that remain are all supposed to be real tracks. But you never know, we already saw some original tracks being played, so there could still be more of those remaining, but I don't know. Really, dude. I'm definitely pitting in right now. Basically pitting in 71 and then in 78. And then just finishing the race. Oh, this guy's pitting in too. Pretty cool. Are we gonna have an accident in pits? No. He was able to go to... Well, we might have an accident when I get out of it. Because they have to charge more fuel. So it's possible that we meet on the same spot. Or no, maybe not. Alright, well. In that case it's gonna be a smooth pit stop. I just cannot do that corner. Honestly, with this track, using a car like this is a torture. It really is. And I don't have any issues with this track with slower cars, but with this thing it really is very annoying. Nürburgring is gonna be like this, but times 10, most likely. Or maybe not, I don't know. Wait a second. Oh, I got distracted. I was out to ask. I was looking at the minimap. There were only 4 blue spots that I was seeing. Blue dots, I mean. And no, it's that 2 of them are very close to each other. But I got distracted because of that. At this rate, this is gonna be more than an hour and 40 minutes. Holy shit. Is this gonna be the longest race in the championship so far? Does it look like it is? I mean, the annoying part is the fact that the next one will probably make me end the stream super late. I don't wanna do that, but I don't have any other choice. The best way to try to counteract how long the race is by trying to do fast laps, but trying to do fast laps is also something that will probably cause more accidents. Getting into an accident will have the opposite effect. Yeah, finish recording replay. Pretty nice. I didn't want it anyways. You can keep it. Just keep it to yourself. I don't want it. I say lap 78 to be the final pit stop. We will see how it goes. There's something I should realize, and I don't remember if I commented it before, but maybe I did. But that the mirrors of the car are actually reflecting the track. Like, I thought they were just gonna be decorations, but I mean, technically they are decorations, because I mean you're not gonna see something so small down there, but now you can clearly tell that they are not static drawings, like it's actually reflecting the track, which is pretty impressive that they even bother with that, considering that I mean most people wouldn't be paying attention to that. That's a nice little detail. There is the second place. I have to pit in, but I'm pretty sure that I will overtake you one more time before the end of the race. You are definitely not immune to the multiple accidents you have, so... Wait, I made the calculations wrong. I say 78, not 77. Whatever. I guess it's 77 now. My bad. Wasn't supposed to pit stop this early. I can still do... This can still be the final stint no matter what. I wasn't paying attention. I guess enough attention. And the only problem with that is that on the final lap, the grip is gonna be terrible. And it's not like it's the first time that something like that happens, but it will be a little bit annoying to do. Especially if I already start drifting like that. Tire wear is gonna be even worse. Especially if I do that. I cannot wait until this race is over, because really driving in this track with this car is super uncomfortable. It really is. I don't know if the next track is gonna be a better choice, but I have my doubts. Well, no, I have my doubts that it's a worse choice. Because... yeah, I don't know. I think any choice is gonna be better than Laguna Seca. Except for the driving park or autumn ring, but I really heavily doubt they are gonna put those. If they put those, you have to assume they are trolling. And that's it, because there is no way that you can use tracks like that. Oh, damn, that guy. Straight to the wall. Poor orange guy. It's fine. It happens. Is that the second place in front of me, or is that someone else? We can reach the 5-lap advantage. Yeah, it is him. Are you gonna have an accident here? No, you won't, but it's not like you need to. Can overtake you normally anyways. And that also has the potential to be a a PB on the next lap. Well, that was almost a PB. Yeah, by very little it wasn't a PB. Only that this one with slipstream ended making me do that corner wrong. And that's something that happens in real life when you have someone in front of you. I don't know exactly what the term is in English. I think in Spanish they call it like dirty air. But yeah, basically if you are at the slipstream of someone in a corner, that most likely means that you are not gonna be able to do the corner properly, because you will go at a different speed than the one you're used to. Well, that is not just the only problem. It's also a problem that I think that in circumstances like that, the car is a lot harder to maneuver, you know. Yeah. Because of things like that, slipstream is not always good. It's definitely extremely good on straights, without a doubt. But this one will also be a PB because of the slipstream at the beginning, but we will see. I don't think it's gonna be a PB any longer. I guess the dreams of having another PB are not gonna come true, but that's fine. Who cares? Well, they have to pit in one more time, really? If it wasn't enough with how much I'm washing you, you want me to wash you even worse. Not like you have a choice. And I hate when it oversteers to the left there. I mean, there more or less I was able to recover without losing too much time, but most of the times it's not like that. Most of the time recovering is very hard. Since the final lap is probably gonna be very hard to go fast because of the state of the tires, I wanna see if I can get a PB here, but I think that dream is dead. I don't think that final corner was done very well. Yeah, that was very close though. But this is the final lap, so none of that matters now. Yeah, that was very close to the PB and without slipstream whatsoever, so very nice. funny thing is that if you do one more lap like this, your tires are gonna explode. But that's something that the auto driving will have to worry about, not me. You can do this remaining corners without issue. I mean, I could also do go through the finish line in the pit lane, but why would I do that? Actually, it probably would have been faster than doing this, you know? Most likely. It ironically probably would have been faster. Alright. There was that. Damn, that was the worst team. 6 laps the other one. So that means that the yellow car was ahead of everyone by a lot. Which makes me think that it really is because he's way slower that happened. So he didn't get that accident as often as the other guys. That's the only reason I can imagine that. And if you look at the overall standings, the second place has 44 points, while I have 100. So essentially, if I really wanted, I could forfeit every single one of the remaining races and I'll still be able to win. Because the most that can happen is that the second place gets 50 points for winning every remaining race, and that's still not enough to get 100. So what's the next race? Oh, so we actually go back to Motegi, but this time not the oval. Well, that was unexpected. I mean, alright, sure. But then, really was not expecting Motegi again. Well, that makes things... isn't Motegi a Japanese track? Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I was sure that Motegi is Japanese, right? Yeah, I mean, it literally says Twin Ring Motegi with katakana on the finish line, so yeah, it is a Japanese track. For some reason the lights are on. I guess the lights are on when it's not perfectly daytime, like when it's not in the middle of the day, when it's getting like sunset or like the afternoon, it starts with the lights. Because in Le Mans it was kinda like that too, like it wasn't full noon, right? It's like it was more like the afternoon. It's like it's a little bit of an exaggeration though. I mean, the visibility is not that bad, you know? Don't know what you're smoking. I also remember that this track was, I think, one of the only ones that I tried to drive with an LMP without driving aids, I think. Now the issue is that 64 laps, this is a relatively long track. Of the regular tracks, I will say that this one is quite long, so not sure how good of an idea is to have 64 laps. I personally don't think it's a good idea. I mean, whatever. Can't do anything about it. Oh, and this was the track that had a weird pit stop, wasn't it? Like, the pit stop is before the final chicane, I think. So I gotta pay attention to that. It's gotta be important. At least this track it's not gonna be as painful as Laguna Seca was. And you know that I know that a lot of people don't like Laguna Seca. I personally don't think that it's a bad track at all. I mean, in video games, obviously. In real life, I have no way of knowing, but in video games, I don't think it's a bad track at all. A lot of people do, but the thing is that that previous race was painful. As much as I like that track, with cars like this, you don't want to drive on that track. Alright, so the pit entrance is there. Team, that looks super confusing. And you cannot simply cut through the main straight because you have tires blocking the entrance, so you actually have to take it the intended way. Alright, well, I will have to figure it out. Thankfully, not something I will have to worry about yet. Well, in case there was any other doubt that this track is Japanese, you also have the Japanese flag waving in the background. This track is 100% Japanese. I wasn't expecting it, so that means that a track like Tsukuba is still possible. Fuck me. Because if you're gonna put Motegi, and you are most likely also gonna put Suzuka, then might as well also include Tsukuba, right? You wouldn't want to have more American tracks than Japanese. Okay, I understand the pit stop now. Because they are like, it's like a split path when you look at the asphalt that goes off track. But in reality, there's only one path you can go. The other one leads to a wall. Essentially, you have to keep driving forward when the chicane comes if you want a pit stop. It's not that bad. It seems like this will be a very standard race in terms of my relation with the opponents. Like at the beginning it will look like I have a disadvantage until eventually enough time passes to show that I have the advantage. At least it seems like the AI this time can go through the corner without issues, you know. Like it actually is not struggling with the track. I mean, this track doesn't have any abomination like the corkscrew or anything like that. It's overall a pretty easy track, I would say. Like it's relatively long, but it's not an issue. I will say that most likely the complex thing that the most complex thing that it has is that final chicane at the end. Like that's it. Everything else is very straightforward. Like very normal corners. Some corners are also quite fast because you have a lot of slow corners like these ones. But for example, this one here, you can do it relatively fast. And here it's something similar. You have like this very slow corner here. Then you have this one here where you're intended to, well, pretty much do it at full speed, yeah. So it has a variety of corners. It's not like it's a dual race, but a track, I mean. But it's still relatively easy. I think that that's mostly because there aren't that many changes in the elevation of the terrain. Like it's mostly a track where you are always at the same level. For example, that is a downhill, so it's not like it's a completely, you know, perfect track in that regard. But it's not bad enough to be a problem. Unlike Laguna Seca, of course. Now, will I pit stop here, or will I pit stop on the next one? Because I feel like if it has to be on this one. Like, if I stay one more lap with these tires, I'm gonna get fucked. And that essentially makes it yet again another race where I have to pit stop 10 times. Seems that that's more or less the rule here. I most likely will have to pit stop 10 times in total. I don't mind. Come on, dude. I'm going off in a lot of corners, so that's not good. Well, in case there was any doubt, yes, I have to pit stop here. Like another lap like this, and I'm gonna lose a lot of time. If I had to take a guess, these guys are probably gonna pit stop every 8 laps instead. So that can be a problem. Right, what's important here is the pit entrance, so it's through here. Huh. There is essentially a chicane in the pit entrance. Damn, that's crazy. Alright, I didn't know. I guess next time I'm gonna try to enter in a more elegant way, but that's a very fucked up pit entrance. Like, it's actually harder than the regular corner, you know? Alright. Let's get it. It is a similar situation to that one that I had in Grand Valley. In fact, I will say that it's kinda the same situation. I remember the first time I pit stop, I ended up going to last place. And then everything ended up getting balanced out at the end, so yeah, more or less the same. So judging by the previous laps, my number one issue is underestimating the corners here. Like thinking that I can do the corners a lot faster than I can actually do them. That involves both braking earlier and also accelerating later. Like, I think I fail in both cases in a lot of these corners. It's important to take that into account. I wonder what happens if you go through the pit lane here. Because unless the pit lane is completely closed... Oh, I think there is actually an obstacle that doesn't let you enter. Because unless that's the case, that's essentially a shortcut you can take. Since that's not the actual pit stop of this version of the circuit. You're getting a little bit in my way, mister. Could you... Guess we're gonna overtake on the straight, why not? Yeah, who knows, maybe this is even gonna be an interesting race and everything. I mean, so far it seems that it is pretty interesting with the fact that we are all pretty close together. Like, of course they will eventually need to pit in and all of that, but for now it seems like it is quite interesting. I know that at the end it's most... Oh, fuck. Well, thankfully the brakes are strong enough to not make you go too far, but then that was a problem. You know, I was about to say that I'm starting to get a little bit worried because I'm not really getting that much of an advantage here, and they are also not pitting in. It's not gonna be every 8 laps, it's at the very least gonna be every 9. If it is every... well, the issue is if it is every 10, I feel like that's gonna be the highest difference so far between pit stops. Because that will mean that I have 10 pit stops, and that means that they only have seats. That's a lot. Like, that's 4 pit stops of difference. So that seems like a big issue, without a doubt. I'm a little bit concerned, but I think that everything is gonna be fine at the end of the day. We just need to relax. Yeah, at this rate, the funny thing is that we're most likely gonna pit stop at the same time, you know? Because my net pit stop is at 12. Okay, they are gonna pit stop now. So it's... if it's in lap 9, that means that they will have a total of 7 pit stops. So it's not that bad, though it's still a remarkable difference. But I mean, it's similar to how it's been the case in every previous race. So I think it's whatever. Essentially, it is most likely gonna be a repeat of what happened in Grand Valley. It's just overall a very standard race. And keep in mind that in Grand Valley, I think that was the first race where I actually disabled the driving aids. Though I think I remember keeping the traction control in 1. Not like it makes that much of a difference, you know. It's mostly still the same. I mean, still the same as disabling it altogether. Nice drift. No, it's fine. Could have been an accident, but it wasn't. Oh, and that was a PB even. With a drift like that. But it's mostly that the rest of the lap was very good. Like, it's not that that it was a PB because of the drift. It's that it was a PB despite the drift, you know? In spite of the drift. I get used to the track, the better I can perform as well. So this is not something we need to worry about. Starts like that do look worrisome. Something that I always say is that in long races, well, I usually say that referring to endurances, but I mean these races are pretty much each one of them an endurance. So the thing is that every time you do a long race, you want to, at the very least, know that you want to have the guarantee that you're gonna win. So when you see yourself on the first laps be on like last place after pitting in, it looks pretty scary. It's like, damn, at this rate I'm gonna do this long ass race and I'm not gonna win. But no, eventually you get used to it and you end up demolishing them like it's nothing. It's just a matter of doing some laps and then you're good to go. I guess that's also probably the reason why the AI is so weak. I feel like it is weak on purpose. So otherwise the amount of people that will have gotten filtered here will probably be a lot. So I'm really curious to see how the one in Gran Turismo 3 is. The issue is that game, unless the RNG is on my side and actually makes me unlock a Formula car, I cannot do it. Blame the game, not me. Like, I have the willpower of doing that championship too. If the RNG doesn't want me to, what can I do? Can you... That pit lane chicane is very hard to do properly, especially with a car like this that is so big, you know? It's fine. I also noticed that in multiple of these races, the fuel tank is mostly the same. Like, it's in 60 or 58 or around there. It doesn't tend to be lower. Obviously, you have exceptions like Le Mans and also the Oval in Twin Ring, but aside from that, it's, you know, it's mostly that amount. Yeah, as much as I would like to say, yeah, this will be an interesting race when it comes to like the stakes and knowing if you're gonna win or not. No, it won't. It won't, simply because of the stuff that always happens, which is the AI being bad. Nothing new under the sun. Now I feel like predicting the remaining tracks is gonna be a lot harder. There are only 4 tracks remaining. I still think that Nürburgring has to be one of them no matter what. Suzuka also has to be pretty much guaranteed. So at that point, if they truly want to make it world, they will have to include Opera Paris and Hong Kong. If they don't care about that, then it's basically anyone's game. That's the thing. If it's truly supposed to be worldwide, those have to be the final 4 remaining. Which is an interesting batch of final tracks, because they are all complets. All of them are complets. Well, especially Nürburgring, but I mean, if the next track is not one of them, that essentially means that it will be impossible to guess the remaining ones. The interesting thing, now that I think about it, if they wanted to have, for any country that is not Japan and the USA, if you only want to have one representation, theoretically France already has the Le Mans representation, which means that Opera Paris wouldn't appear. So yeah, I guess of the ones I mentioned, Opera Paris is definitely the least likely. All of the other ones are very, very likely. I mean, if Suzuka somehow doesn't appear, I will be surprised. Unless by the time this game released, Suzuka was still not part of the Formula 1 calendar. That's something I don't know. I mean, I know that it's part now. Like, well, in fact, this year you had a race in Suzuka, but yeah, maybe in 2004 that wasn't the case for whatever reason. I don't know. I wouldn't know without looking it up. Who knows? If they don't put Suzuka, I think it will be very, very weird. Well, in fact, unless the AI has a malfunction like in Laguna Seca, a race in Suzuka circuit is probably gonna be pretty similar to this one. Just that the fact that it's an even more complex track than this, it might have some more mistakes from me. And I'm already having some mistakes, as you can see here. I feel like I can smell even more mistakes. Probably. Here if the only thing you care about is winning the championship, and assuming that you won every race prior to this, you don't even need to do these races if you don't want to. Because I mean, the thing is that the big money is by winning the championship, and the car reward is also by winning the championship. So theoretically, if the only thing you care about is for some reason is getting more stuff, like, you know, car and money, like, you would want to just not do the following races. But I feel like at this point, if you're doing a championship like this, I don't think you care about either the car reward or the monetary reward. Because when it comes to monetary reward, doing all this shit for 3 million credits is still very bad in terms of the returns you get, because you end up like investing a lot of time that if you invested in something that gives you credits faster, obviously well, you're gonna get the credits faster. But at this point, anyone that is doing this, I'm pretty sure that it's not doing it for the literal rewards. It's doing it for the, but like the reward is just being able to go through the whole championship. That's the reward. Well, the same as beating an endurance. Well, depends on which one. In this game, both of the endurance that I did was precisely because of the reward, rather than doing the endurance in itself. But yeah. And as I say before, I have no clue what sort of car you could get as a reward from something like this. Because if it's anything that is not a Formula car, it's basically not a good reward. And obviously you could be thinking, well, why would you want another Formula car if you already have one? And it's simply to have a different color, obviously. To be able to have one with a better color combination, you know. Alright, so here I'm gonna pit in, and I'm pretty sure they are gonna pit in as well. That it's gonna happen to both of us. So then I think that every time that I'll do that pit entrance, I'm gonna think the same thing. Like, how can you make the pit entrance so hard? Like, why will you do that? Like, do you want cars that are already in danger of having an accident to have even more chances of getting into an accident? Like, what are you doing? As expected, they pit stop as well. So yeah, we get to keep a nice distance between me and the second place. Now I'll tell you something. If I manage to lap the second place, it most likely by the end of the race will only be by one lap. I cannot expect it to be more than that. And that's okay. I mean, I don't need it to be more than that. It will be good enough. And when you go off track like that, the wheels stay locked for quite a bit for some reason. They take a while to get back to normal, basically. When I think to myself, doing tracks like this in manual mode would have been catastrophic. Like, there is no way I would have been able to do something like that. How early I can get another PB. Because I don't think that best lap is that good at all. We'll be able to get a better one. Maybe this one. Maybe. Nah, the finish line is too far. Maybe. But then it's fucked up because it's a PB with the final corner being like a very messed up drift. And even then, it seems that I cannot get very close to it at all, you know? A little bit weird. Nice drift, but I don't think it made me waste that much time. I think all in all, this is a good lap so far. Like, if this is not enough for PB, I don't know what will. I mean, aside from slipstream, obviously. That was actually PB nice. Yeah, that's essentially how you're supposed to do a relatively fast lap. With slipstream you can do something way better than that. Like, way better. But getting slipstream here is not gonna be easy, since that will require me to lap these guys. So yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. And also, according to my calculations, this is gonna go to also an hour and 40 minutes. So I think this have been the longest two races in a row that we got in the championship. And if it wasn't for the fact that the first stream was the longest one simply because I did 3 races instead of 2, this would have been the longest stream without a doubt of this championship, I mean. Without a doubt. At this point, I think that anything faster than an hour and 40 minutes is probably not gonna happen. Like, it's most likely gonna be an hour and 40 minutes for every race until the end of the championship. I will not be surprised. Well, in fact, I wonder if that previous race in Laguna Seca, if it was longer than the Monaco one that has been the longest one so far. I think that they are both very close. I'm not sure which one was the longest, so. Okay, I saw it now. Because all this time I was curious, but yeah. Now I saw it from the front that this pit lane here has like a whole wall that prevents you from entering. That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, otherwise you could very easily use it as a shortcut. Okay. So The halfway point of this race is on lap 32. Yeah, this is most likely gonna be an hour and 40 minutes. Just 8 more laps from here. Well, it might even be more than that, like something like an hour and 45 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah, this game has no oversteering, by the way. And this one didn't even happen with, you know, with super worn out tires. Well, maybe it happened precisely because they were fresh tires. If the game is realistic, that's the thing. Tires that you just get can be just as annoying to drive than worn out tires, for the simple reason that they are cold and you want your tires to warm up in order to have a grip, because otherwise it's kind of like you're skating, right? They don't have much grip when they have not been properly warm it up, I mean. So I guess in that regard it still makes sense for the oversteer to happen like that. When you actually try to go optimally, or rather when you just try to go fast, some of these corners are very dangerous. Not when you try to do them normally. Unlike Laguna Seca, where just trying to do the corners normally was already dangerous enough. Here trying to do them fast can prove to be quite dangerous. This won't be up here. It wasn't a bad lap though. I'm curious to see what's the world record of lap time in tracks like this, with this car obviously, because it's probably gonna be, and I'm not exaggerating, it's most likely gonna be 10 seconds faster. There are multiple things to take into account. Basically, first of all, that I'm using automatic transmission. And I'm pretty sure that automatic transmission, at least in this game, will never be better than manual transmission, assuming that you use manual transmission properly. And the second thing is that every time I am in a corner exit from a slow corner, you can see that my wheels get blocked. It's simply because I cannot accelerate softly, lacking an analog button to do that, right? So I'm pretty sure that there was a place where you register the world records for lap time in every track. This one probably will be 10 seconds faster, without a doubt. Oh, and that was a PB nice. I mean, 10 seconds might be a little bit of an exaggeration though. 5 seconds seems more realistic, but I'll never forget when You know, there were some times that I don't remember exactly in what game, but there was a game that I remember having leaderboards for lap time, or at least like the amount of time the race took you. And every time that I look at the leaderboards, like the first places have like several seconds less than I do. So I will assume that this one is no exception. Well, and another thing, I'm also not using a racing wheel. Using a racing wheel on this thing is probably also gonna be the most optimal way of taking the corners, you know. I'm very curious to see how the AI enters the pits here. Because every time that I see them in the minimap, they seem to be taking that pit entrance at full speed. But that's absolutely impossible. There is no way you can take that at full speed, no matter what you do. Now looking at this, that only now I will lap them. Yeah, I think that I can only lap them by one lap. I don't think it's gonna be 2 laps by the end of the race. There is no way. Make no mistake, the previous track, if it wasn't for all the accidents that the AI was having, would have either gone like this race here, or it would have been even worse. Like, I probably would have been very close to losing. We really have to thank the accidents for that one. Otherwise, you will probably be seeing me crying right now about how I lost the previous race, and probably complaining about Laguna Seca a lot. But more importantly, complaining about the idea of including Laguna Seca as a formula track, you know. That's the real issue. Well, I unfortunately need to pit stop this lap, so I don't think I can lap this guy yet. We'll have to wait until later. It cannot happen right now. Well, I will be very close, but not quite there. I'll get you later, don't worry about it. It will happen sooner than you expected. Don't worry, no. Hey, not yet. You still get to survive a little bit more. Alright, being closer to 50 minutes of race time, it actually most likely be an hour and 40 minutes in total. Because by the time I get to lap 32, the timer is most likely gonna mark 50 minutes, and that obviously means that being halfway through the race in lap 32, marking 50 means that there are 50 more minutes to go, and 50 plus 50 is 100, and 100 minutes is an hour and 40 minutes. But yeah, It's gonna be yet again another hour and 40 race. It's whatever. I mean, it's a stream that it's gonna take slightly longer than I expected, but not by a lot, really. So now the good thing of being behind all of these cars is that I have slipstream, and that means that my chances of getting PBs is quite high. What's also high is my chances of getting accidents, because every time I have a car in front of me, like running into him happens quite often. That sucks. But I cannot blame that car in front of me for that, though. That was all on me. It feels like every time that I have a car on my sides, my focus just drops dead to the ground. Well, that slipstream was nice, but I think that with how much I drift in so many of the corner exits, this is not gonna be a PB. Yeah, it won't. Also, you know what? I'm definitely getting older because my wrist is starting to hurt a little bit. Simply from, having the same position on the hand for extended periods of time. That's what it means to get older. To start having pains like that. Just because. It's fine. So I wonder why it didn't happen in the other streams that I did this. Little bit weird. Well, maybe it's because Laguna Seca had me real tense. It could be. It's a possibility. I think that PB will stay there for a while, because even with this slipstream I'm struggling to get it. I'm surprised that I started braking early there compared to him. I thought he would start a lot earlier. Maybe I should miscalculated the corner and that's it. But in fact, the reason why these terrible attempts are even so close to the PB is precisely because of the slipstream. If it wasn't for the slipstream, they would be a lot further than this. This here, I gotta admit that... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say that I gotta admit that this lap is being very fast, but yeah. Not anymore. It's what happens when you step on the grass even for a very little bit. You end up having that happening. Just the way it is. Well, here on the... Oh, actually, that's something I would love to see. How these guys enter the pits. Promise that I'm most likely gonna overtake this guy before I get the chance to see him enter the pits, unfortunately. Yes, we're gonna be pitting in on the exact same lap, which is this one. As much as I would like to see him, unless I make another mistake like the one on the previous lap, I'm gonna overtake him before we even get to the pit, so yeah, as expected. You have to... Dude, what's wrong with the grass? Like, the grass is doing this shit on purpose. No, it's okay, don't worry. I did that on purpose simply to see them pitting, okay? I don't know what's wrong with the grass in these last two laps. Wait a second, the first place did not pit in. Can they be pitting in now, though? I mean, if it's every 9 laps, they should be. I guess they are not gonna be pitting in, okay? Oh, it's because... Okay. Yeah, it's because I'm assuming they are on the same lap as I am, but they are not. They are on lap 35. Now they are on lap 36. Yeah, my bad. I should assume that they are driving faster than they actually are, but they aren't. But yeah, never mind. They will pit in here in this lap, and my question is if I can lap the second place before he gets out of pits. Kinda looks like it will be the case. I know. the same time we are pretty far. If I were to lap him, it would probably have to be on the track and not through the pit lane. Well, I lapped everyone except for the second place, basically. I mean, the second place for some reason is extremely far from everyone else. I don't know why. I guess he's that much better. It's what I told you in Laguna Seca, like, the silver guy is most likely gonna be the fastest in terms of the AI, how it internally works, maybe. And that means that in Laguna Seca it was the one having the most accidents, probably. Which is the reason why most likely the slowest one, which is the yellow one, ended up winning. Here you can, where the AI actually doesn't have accidents, you can see that he's the fastest one by quite a lot. Was a relatively decent lap, all things considered. I think that this should be the lap that I overtake this guy. But not if I do something like that. I can overtake him right here. Yeah. Well, you're officially lapped now. Hey, keep in mind that this happened past the halfway point of the race, so this is only gonna happen once. I mean, it's good enough, I guess, but it won't happen more than once. I think that with that we can confirm that the PB is gonna be unreachable. So at the same time I have to pit stop in 2 laps from now, so I will probably still have more chances of slipstream. Not that many. Really, dude? Yeah, that's also a corner that I struggle with quite a lot of times now. You wanted slipstream, there you have it. Just like that. You wanted it, you have it. Yeah, this guy is still quite close regardless. It's interesting because that guy's pace is really, I mean, it's obviously slower than mine, but it doesn't seem like it's slower by a lot, you know? I mean, that also explains why I will only be able to lap him once and not more than that. I guess that this track is simply, because it has so many slow corners, I guess doing it without driving aids means that most of the corners you're gonna do them slower, and that ends up meaning that you're gonna overall go slower, obviously. It means less lap advantage. Obviously, I think it also is about the amount of pit stops. Like also in tracks that have slower corners like this that wear down your tires more, it means that you're gonna have to pit stop more often, and that means that the overall time you're gonna be spending on the track is gonna be higher. That's not how you do that, but it's okay. That's such a fucked up entrance. It's probably so far the hardest entrance, right? Because at least the Laguna Seca one require you to brake a lot, but it's not like you have grass around it like you have with this one, you know? Yeah, this one feels pretty fucked up. If anything, in Laguna Seca, the hard thing is the pit exit, but that's something that you don't even have to do yourself. Like, in this game, it's done automatically. These are also some pretty bad racing lanes that I'm doing right now. Like essentially doing the whole corner on the outer side. You don't want to do that. I mean, essentially, you can see at the track there is a lot of black in one specific side of the track. That's essentially what the most common racing line is. It's the reason that the parts that are less dark, you don't tend to go there. When you suck, I guess, you don't have many other options. That's the thing. You know, a lot of games, not back then when this game released, but Nowadays, a lot of racing games usually have a feature that is showing you the optimal racing line, right? That's something that in these games, if they have the asphalt like relatively realistically modeled, you can see by just looking at it. Whenever the asphalt is darker, that's essentially the racing line. And nowadays it kinda became a standard, right? Like every racing game has a virtual optimal racing line option. And in most cases it's enabled by default. You actually have to go out of your way to disable it, which is annoying. I mean, at least it's obviously not an option that is forced on you. It would be fucked up if it was. There were actually markings in the ground with what you do. This thing will be full of markings in all the wrong places, you know? With all the drifts that I randomly do. Right, that has to probably be the most... Like the corner that I went off track the most. It really feels like it. This is the lap that they will pit in, obviously meaning that I will get to lap them, and that's pretty much the last time I'm gonna have any interaction with them. I mean, even if I have to pit in 2 laps, I think that at that point there is no way that they can overtake me again. So, yeah. You are essentially gonna be solitaire for the rest of the race. That was very mean from me to do that. That was essentially a terrorist attack, but I mean, what do you want me to do? But I could have... Wait, that was a PB? Really? I think it was a PB precisely because of that terrorist attack. I do in that corner so fast, more than I normally should be able to, thanks to the fact like that car was there. I think that's what made it a PB. Well, if that's the case, now you can forget about getting another PB. You can definitely forget about it. This lap, I need to beat in. Then I really gotta tell you that for some reason today, my right wrist really hurts. It wasn't like that in any of the previous streams, so I don't get what's the idea now. Like, why is it any different? It's a little bit annoying. I mean, it makes me like wish for the race to end, but because of my hand, not because I have any issues with this track. I mean, obviously compared to Laguna Seca, this is heaven. All right. So that marks the 8th pit stop, which means that I need 2 more, and that's it. 2 more pit stops. But here I could, if I really wanted to, I could completely disable the fuel on the next pit stop. In fact, you know that I'm very tempted to do it. Because essentially per stint, I consume 22, well, I don't know what measurement that is, but 22 units of fuel, right? So 22 means that in 3 stints it's gonna be 66. So I kinda wanna see what happens when you do that. I wanna see what happens when you don't refuel, since here, I mean, anything else that can happen in the track, like in the race, it's not gonna be any surprise at all, obviously. So to spice it up, I guess I could try to see, but not only if it is enough to not refuel, but also see how much time I save, because theoretically, if you select the option to not refuel, they should do the tire change immediately, right? That's what I wanna see. But I also know is what happens with the game when you run out of fuel. Like, it probably makes you immediately fail the race, but like, does a message just appear saying out of fuel or something like that? I mean, probably. The question is if I will remember doing that. Like, next time I enter the pits to manually change their refueling to no. I don't know if I will remember. I hope I do though. It will be quite curious if I completely recheck refueling, if with that I can like lap these guys twice. I wonder. A nice corner. Only I could do all of the remaining ones like that. It could potentially be a PB because it was very fast. Unfortunately, that one was very slow. Doing all the corners properly here is not easy at all. That drift at the end didn't help, but I feel like that was a fast lap. It definitely was a fast lap, but not fast enough for PB. Well, to be fair, this corner is not that easy to do it fast. I mean, it's a slow corner after all. Just like this one. Well, not that slow, but it is still quite slow. Oh, that was a very nice. Good shit. Without any help from slipstream or anything like that. That was pretty good. If I can do all the remaining laps like that, could potentially end the race even faster. think that laps like that are one of a kind. They are not easy to replicate at all. I will remember here that I need to pit stop and to not refuel. Simply to see how quickly you can do the pit stop. So even if you forget to manually set the refuel, you can stop the refueling as soon as you get with the pit crew. You should press the acceleration button and they stop refueling. I like how the braking references in this track are basically labels that are hanging from the outside of the track, as you can see. So that way, differently from Laguna Seca, you cannot accidentally get rid of them, right? Alright, so fuel here we put no. And see how fast this happens. Because maybe it won't be that much faster and it's not worth it, but let's see. Here you just need to change my tires. No, you still take quite a long time. Okay, never mind. So basically refueling takes no time in comparison. Damn, that's very unrealistic though. Ironically, the pit stop taking that long to change tires in a Formula car is extremely unrealistic. Even for 2004. They might not have been that extremely fast as they are now, but they were still pretty fast. So yeah, don't know what they were thinking with that. They essentially refueling when it comes to the amount of time it consumes, it's free. But we still don't know if refueling, or rather having less fuel in your tank, if it actually makes your car faster or not. I guess I can still refuse to refuel on the next one simply to see if my average lap time is faster or not. Probably not though. I had to take, I guess. Until you try. And at some point when races are this free, you might as well, you know, use the opportunity to try out things. I mean, same way I tried out manual transmission and removing driving aids. Might as well see if not refueling makes a difference or not. They are still in lap 54, by the way. And they will have to pit in later in lap 63. So it actually might be possible that I lap them one more time. It will be hard, but I don't think it will be impossible. At least when it comes to how I feel the car, it really doesn't feel any heavier or lighter. Though that was already the thing in other races where I also like refused to refuel, and it didn't really feel that it make any difference. So I doubt that I will feel any difference here. That was close. I think according to my calculations, I can definitely lap them one more time. Just that I need to pit stop in 2 laps, so even if they need to pit stop... Actually, hold up, no. Since they need to pit stop in lap 63, that means that I most likely will cross the finish line before they even have the opportunity to pit stop, so yeah, never mind, no. It actually won't happen. But who cares? Aside from Le Mans, I think that this was the race with the least amount of difference between me and the second place. At least in terms of total laps, and not in terms of time. In terms of laps, only having one is definitely the shortest aside from Le Mans. But obviously, if Nürburgring is one of the remaining tracks, it will be the case there too, clearly. Was close to BB. Most likely because of the slipstream with that guy. This will have to be the final pit stop. Essentially, like, the 2 races today were essentially an hour and 40 minutes. That's quite messed up. As I say, I don't think that the tracks are gonna get any shorter. If anything, it most likely will be the opposite. I needed to pit stop anyways. That pit stop is so extremely hard to do properly. That's crazy. Whatever. Okay, so not refueling anything here, and I essentially have my tank more than halfway empty, so that means that if we apply the real life physics here, my car should be lighter, which in turn means that it should go faster. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Also, don't worry, I'm not gonna run out of fuel. Even if I had to do another pit stop, I still wouldn't run out of fuel. Like, it will have only 1 bar remaining most likely, but it's still, well, not really, it will have 2 bars because theoretically it should be like 4, well no, it probably will have only 1. There will be 14 points remaining of fuel, and depending on how it, no, actually it will be, the problem is that it's 14 out of 80 when you look at the bar in the pit stop, but that bar that you see right there on the bottom left uses a division by 10, so I mean, if it's done in a, like, proportionally, it should be 2 bars left at the end of this stint, assuming there was another pit stop, but yeah. The point is, don't worry, we're not running out of fuel. Also, nice drift. You know, judging by the time on this checkpoint, I'm pretty sure the car does not go any faster or having less fuel in the tank. But they probably didn't want to simulate the fuel weight physics. But calling it physics makes it sound very complex, but I mean, pretty sure that you could just make the car, like, from a programmatical standpoint, when you have less fuel, you just make the car go like 1 or 2 kilometers per hour faster, and that's it. And finish recording the replay. It seems that it says that in different timestamps every time. I mean, most likely because it also has to do with the amount of inputs that you are supposed to record for the replay. I mean, not just your own inputs, but like the simulated CPU inputs, I guess in that regard, it's not 100% gonna depend on the time recorded, but rather on the replay logic. So like if you had a script that sent an input to the game every millisecond, you could probably also reach the replay limit super early as well. Like a lot earlier than this, I mean. Almost a PB. But that's the final lap though. I mean, this is the final lap. But yeah. With this, it's another set of 2 races done. It means that there's only 4 races remaining. And this one is most likely gonna be perfectly an hour and 40 minutes. Like nothing more, nothing less. Like actually perfectly an hour and 40 minutes. It's pretty funny. Pretty much went completely off track there. If this was one more lap, I would have lapped these guys twice. Since it ends here, we only lapped them once, right? That was an hour 40 minutes with 8 seconds. Pretty funny. Alright, well, that's the end of that. Of the stream. That essentially means that there are 2 streams remaining of this championship. The one with race 12 and 13, and the one with race 14 and 15, pretty much. Alright, well, that was nice. I mean, at least Laguna Seca is out of the way, so that's not something that can happen. But yeah, there are still quite some tracks remaining that could be problematic, but we will see that some other day. So thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream with something else. So have a good one and take care.